What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Sapp here for the Fightful Wrestling Podcast, January 17th edition. It is officially the Fightful Wrestling Podcast now. We have 5 to 7 MMA podcasts a week. You can subscribe to us on YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, direct download. Lots of places as we get ready for our brand extension. We got UFC fighter Elias Theodoru, former UFC fighter Sean Pearson, who left the company on a 3-fight win streak. We got Reed Kuhn, who breaks down the analytics of MMA. We have Adam Martin on Mondays with Showdown Joe. Go check those out, guys. Lots of fun. They're still growing. Also follow these handles, at Fightful Wrestle, at Fightful MMA, at Fightful Online. The wrestling and MMA ones, they are specific. If we get to 1,000 by the Rumble on Fightful Wrestle, I will give away this horrible-looking Rey Mysterio mask that I ended up with. And I guess he signed it. So there you go. We got Smackdown. I'm here with Jeff Hawkins, and I'll say 90% confirmed. He and Rob are joining the show for the Royal Rumble, as I will be gone. I love it when a plan comes together, Jeff.
Ooh, nice pull there with George Papard from the A-Team. I like that. Sean Ross, we got to have a little bit of a talk here, a little bit of production meeting here, because I listened to your podcast with the boss man, the eccentric millionaire up in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
You put over Anna, who's lovely and funny. And
She's great.
And if I were 10 years younger, I'd think about getting rejected by her. You put over Alex. You put over Matt
Anna's
Riddle.
like 27. How old are you?
I'm ancient.
How old are you? Let's figure this out.
I'm not saying that on the air.
What?
Yeah. Screw that. Let me do my bit.
Sure.
You put over Alex. You put over Hurricane. You put over Riddle. You even put over Vince Russo. But who didn't you put over to the boss man? Your boy. Your boy. And let me just say, to suck up to the boss man, as part of the Secret Santa things, I got a Tim Hortons coffee cup.
Oh.
I got ketchup chips from Canada. I ate the rest of the stuff from Canada, but look. If the eccentric billionaire wants to send me coffee from Tim Hortons, I'd appreciate it. If he wants to even go weirder, he can send me Cuban coffee. And if he wants to be eccentric and show off how rich he is, he can wrap it up in dollar bills and send it in a box to me. That's all I'm saying. I, for one, welcome our Canadian overlords.
Well, let's clear a few things up. I am 6 months through a 1-year contract. And he's saying that he's going to get me a full-time job at Tim Hortons if this Fightful thing doesn't work out. So pardon me if I had other things on my mind during
free coffee and donuts. That's what you had on your mind, fool?
Yeah.
Okay.
How old are you, Jeff?
I'm old enough.
How old do you think I am, Jeff?
I think you are probably either just north of 30 or about to hit there.
I am 31 years old. Mm-hmm. Good guess. Good guess. So we've got Smackdown to talk about tonight. We had this opening segment. I thought this shit was fire.
Oh, I absolutely. I was about to say it's my favorite segment of the year, and we're only 3 weeks in because I'm an idiot. No, I loved it. I loved everything about this. I love that it's setting up the pay-per-view in February. I love that Miz is the guy to come out and kind of creep on AJ's belt there, because I dig that. And let's not shade AJ Styles' work here, because he was getting cheered like a face and turned that crowd on him, which is hard to do. Everything about AJ here was absolutely fantastic, from being insulted to then buying into Shane's empty flattery. I thought that was a great, great moment right there. And then Cena playing troublemaker, a little bit over the top, but it worked for this segment. So I'll take it. I loved everything about this. I thought this was money. This was just print money. And then setting up a Miz AJ Styles match. Hell yeah, give me that.
The only thing I don't like is the Elimination Chamber in February.
I don't either. I
would say save that for May, June. Well, depending on who has Money in the Bank, I would give the other side Elimination Chamber, because that's a pretty solid match to sell. And I hate the idea of fighting through 29 people for a title shot when 5 people get one a couple weeks later.
Exactly. No, you nailed my issue with this. I thought it was special when they did tag teams in the Elimination Chamber. I thought that was kind of cool. This would be where I would do this instead of tables, ladders, and chairs, to be honest with you. I think it's a safer gimmick match. And I think for that kind of December dead time, I think it's a perfect kind of thing for it. I don't like it in between the Rumble and Mania. I think that's too much. I think you're setting up something big in January already. And now you're kind of tipping your hand that I think the Rumble's going to go Raw's way, which I don't think is good for the product overall. So, I mean, I'd like a women's Elimination Chamber match. I think that'd be kind of cool too.
Somebody said, or maybe the Undertaker wins.
This is how they get the belt off of AJ without pinning him in terms of directly for the belt.
Yeah, and that maybe not so bad. Somebody says SRS wore a dress shirt last night with Alex and wears his pajamas with you. You all call just a button-up shirt, a button-up coral shirt.
Look, take a look at SRS's avatar. That's a good-looking man right there. That's a handsome man.
I'm not wearing my pajamas. This is a nice Nike shirt. Thank you.
Co-opted media right here, baby.
Speaking of, guys, head over to ProWrestlingTees.com/Sean Ross Sapp. There is a link on the Fightful.com description. Get your Fightful.com shirts. I helped design those bad boys. And right now we have a sale, $15.99. We've been selling them like crazy. You can get them soft style. You can get muscle tees. You can get long sleeve. Plenty of options. Also, we got some Kraken Fight Team gear and some catch wrestling gear up there as well. But yeah, support the Fightful.com efforts. Visit the site all the time. Share the site all the time. Subscribe to us on all these cool things. Leave us a thumbs up. A nice review on iTunes helps. Also, we got more coverage than anybody else. I always see hundreds of you watching live. Thousands of you watch eventually. Come hang out on our forums. Ask questions. We got Jimmy Van on the show tomorrow. If you want to ask some eccentric millionaire questions, he'll answer them. You want to ask us about journalism, about Fightful, about wrestling, really about anything, we're open to answering that. Jeff, the topic on this week's Shane Helms show, backstage fights.
Yes, that should be interesting.
Yeah, we get to hear about.
I want to see how far he goes.
Kicking his ass.
I want to see how far this goes. I don't know. I mean, is Shane going to be wide open here and maybe burn a few bridges? That's what's, be careful here, my friend.
I don't have to be careful. Shane has to be careful.
Well, you have to be careful because you're leading him. You may lead him down a path of destruction here, my friend.
Maybe I will. We got people knocking on our doors to do this show. I mean, I love Shane. But
so you're just gonna burn bridges? Like, are you like looking for like other Australian comedians to do videos too?
Yeah. No,
the hell with Anna.
I'm very much looking forward to this. Next week's show will be the end of WCW. So register at Fightful.com to get early access to those shows. You get them days before. If you don't register. Enough of the shills, guys. This opening promo, Miz and AJ hit each other with some sick birds. Miz made fun of AJ Styles' hair and said he was main eventing WrestleMania while AJ Styles was trying to become America's next top soccer mom.
He corpsed Maurice on that one. Did you see that? Maurice had to turn away.
She's so great.
Oh man, you know what I love, and this is just a weird little moment for me, but when he opened the ropes for her and goes, "Here you go, honey," I just thought that was just so cool. I don't know, everything about this was so great. It was such a joy to watch Miz, and you know what? Maybe they're building Miz up. I don't know, but I liked it. I like Miz being in this position.
Building Miz up. Miz is building Miz up.
Yeah,
that's building Miz up.
When Miz broke out the southern accent.
Yeah. AJ had a line about like Miz coming up limp, and John Cena was egging it on, which was funny. It was actually pretty good stuff. I really like that. Everybody in this segment, like Shane McMahon just looking back and forth, like, what are you going to say? What are you going to say? Everybody was really good here.
Yeah.
Backstage, Ambrose asks for Orton, and he gets it. That sets up a pretty damn loaded SmackDown, but we'll talk about the match anyway. AJ Styles and The Miz John Cena on commentary was one giant ad for like what, Surf's Up 2 or something?
Yeah, so Surf's Up 2, where your favorite WWE superstars are penguins.
Sweet, dude. Funny story about penguins. I had a girlfriend when I was a teenager.
Congrats.
She liked,
I did.
She liked
Go
penguins.
ahead.
So I bought like one of those 4-foot stuffed penguins, right? My cat thought it was a new pet and got jealous and pissed all over it. Now, needless to say, there ain't a lot of cleaning you can do with cat piss on a 4-foot tall stuffed penguin. So that was $100 out the window. That's my penguin story.
You spent $100 as a teenager on a woman? You could have had a woman.
You know what? Is it any surprise I didn't get married till I was 31? There we go.
Unless Anna's looking for a green card wedding, I ain't got one in my future neither.
You know what? She's trying to get back to the States.
She could learn to love me. That's what I've been saying since I was 15.
She watches the show, Jeff. You better watch out.
I'm not dissing her. I'm making fun of myself.
Go check out Most Ridiculous with Anna Bauer. She's got some of her Royal Rumble picks. Guys, we are hitting you with a ton of Royal Rumble stuff next weekend. And this week, I've got my Retro Rumble series coming out this weekend. I've got some rule changes I would make to the Rumble. That's coming out this week. And then we're going to republish those all throughout Rumble weekend. That way you can find them all in one place. This match was pretty well worked. I would love to see more heel versus heel, face versus face stuff. I don't see why not. I like the idea of two dastardly heels just one-upping each other and being like really shitty.
You know what I liked a lot was there was a weird juxtaposition. I don't know if you noticed this, but it's like Miz would be working that what Daniel Bryan would call the soft style WWE stuff. Then all of a sudden, like AJ would just hit him with a forearm right in the face. I thought that was very, very cool. Yeah, I really liked that a lot. The only thing the ending, at first I didn't realize. I went, why is that a DQ? But then I realized he threw Miz into the barricade as opposed to just kind of set him aside there. I just thought that was kind of a bit clunky, but expected. I mean, this is the theme for both shows this week is long matches with schmaz finishes. Because they really don't want to. They have their plans set, so they're just kind of trying to tread water going into the Royal Rumble a bit.
Cena somehow wins this match, I think, which isn't a surprise. I will say this, Cena being on commentary, even though it was a giant commercial, made it feel a little more important. And it's not easy to make a Miz AJ Styles match seem more important than what they do in the ring at this point. I'll ask you this. What do you think Miz's WrestleMania situation will be?
Multi-man match for the Intercontinental title.
You know what I think it should be?
What do you think it should be?
I think he should make an open challenge, and Daniel Bryan should answer it. And Miz should turn around and kiss Maurice and immediately get put in the yes lock. And that's it.
And then you just have a tournament. And then you have a tournament after WrestleMania. Oh no, it wouldn't be for a belt.
Not even for a title. Just that is finality to like so many things. It puts a bow on a lot of things, but it allows Miz to stay pissed off at Daniel Bryan, to be even more mad at Daniel Bryan.
And then everybody can bring
any angrier.
Yeah, everybody can bring that up. Oh, now you hold the record for the quickest pin/tap in WWE history. Yeah, no, yes. I like that idea. I like that idea a lot.
Tap. It should
be.
I
like that idea a lot.
I'm sure somebody's pitched that somewhere, but I'm like, man, that is just such poetic beauty right there. Like, that would just be great. And I'm sure Maurice would sell the hell out of that as well. You know what you're really good at, Jeff?
No one's ever told me, so you might as well tell
stabbing people in the back.
Am I?
Yeah, but you're not as good at it as Nikki Bella, apparently. Holy shit, that initial dialogue was real bad.
Oh, yeah.
Those two. But then when it got to Natalya, just pissing on the merch, she called Bret Hart her ex-uncle, and I lost it. The ex-uncle.
That, and I just love the moment of Nikki over here, over here, over here. Shut up.
How dare you not be able to find me out of a crowd of about 9,000 people?
Over here. Now shut up.
I'm wearing black just like everybody else in the damn crowd. You can't see me? Oh,
and that first bump where Nikki puts her through the table, I yelped because Natty just jumped up and fell backwards. I'm just gonna put this in the trash. You there? It was the most stilted dialogue, but just that stunt just popped me. And then during the fight, Nikki potatoes this poor security guard right in the face. I went, "Oh my God, this is great. This is so Memphis. This is so concession stand brawl." I was waiting for people to get squirted with mustard and stuff.
Oh, geez.
Or for Dusty Rhodes to say they're fighting in the men's room.
People keep asking, like, where is Natalya's beef with Brett? This was brought up several weeks ago. Brett, endorsed Nikki.
Yeah, on Twitter, I think.
Yeah, and they brought it up, and that's why Natalya has beef. Calling Brett her ex-uncle, perfect. They went through a table. If this had, a different delivery of that dialogue, I hate it when somebody is in the ring and they're like, so middle school drama, this is why I'm mad at you. Okay, that's cool. You got 4 friggin' commentators. Have one of them in there and say, how do you feel? Okay, she was prompted to give a response. I get it now.
I'd like to see how they feel as opposed to giving exposition of the entire situation in the middle of the ring. That's my thing.
Well, we can't remember what happened last week, so.
We may have new fans. We need to get them up to speed. Well, that's what video boards are for.
I tell you what, man, I've been watching all these Royal Rumbles back. You get a lot of that shit on commentary. We better catch them up. My favorite response to one was, I think it was the 07 or 08 Rumble. And Shane Helms comes in and JBL goes, he's going after his buddy from North Kakalaki, Matt Hardy. And Michael Cole corrects him. He's like, no, they're not friends. They've been feuding on Smackdown. And JBL was like, I was being facetious, you jackass.
My favorite moment in any Rumble, I think, is still 2004, number 18, when Lamont and Ernest the Cat Miller.
And I watched the Lost Royal Rumble. I had that one coming up, that Retro Rumble coming up Monday. He was on the Smackdown Rumble a few days later as well.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that was his last WWE appearance. Good times. Yeah. This Orton-Ambrose match was nothing special. It was 2 guys who haven't evolved in the ring for a very long time. Ambrose won. There were more problems with the Wyatt family. Bray hits Luke Harper. Orton seems happy about it. Later on, the Wyatt family or Bray announces they are in the Rumble. But next week, Orton's facing Harper. Unpack this situation that I didn't give a shit about.
I really liked Luke Harper here. Because Luke Harper
always good. It's just I don't care.
No, you don't care, but Luke Harper's acting like the older brother who's in a family where the younger brother is treated like a rock star, but still when mom's back is turned, punches him in the face.
Yeah.
And you're like, why don't you ever punish him? That kind of thing. It was such a perfect kind of tone. And then Bray punching him, I thought was pretty darn good. I was waiting for the attempted punch on Randy, but I like that they held off on it. I like that they've kind of held off on it. It's obvious Orton's playing a game here now, I think. But, it's a nice slow burn that will blow up at the Rumble, I think. I think, somebody's eliminating Bray, be it Orton or Luke, and I think it's going to be Luke accidentally, and then get eliminated himself, and then it'll just be more fission, so to speak.
I say I don't care about it, but I care about it more than whatever the hell these 3 guys were doing before. So
I don't care about Dean Ambrose in this at all.
Oh, yeah, not him. I meant the Wyatt family. Dean Ambrose, 0 direction right now. I don't know what's going on.
Are they going to pay off this Renee thing at all, or are they just going to kind of move on and put Miz in with everybody? I mean, I'm sure it'll play a part in the Elimination Chamber build. But
I do these YouTube rankings every Monday or every Tuesday, Wednesday on Fightful.com. The Ambrose, Miz, Renee Young, Marie stuff always up there, always at the top.
people like that little dose of reality when you fold it in and you do it right, which juxtaposes against all the camp that WWE loves to do.
Yeah. So yeah, that happened. A Royal Rumble entrance. That's adding to a pretty loaded Rumble.
This Rumble's going to be a lot of fun, I think.
I can't wait. I'm going to be there live. I'm going to be like a little kid. I can't wait. It's going to be a goof. Yeah,
are you
guys,
are you gonna have like a New Day unicorn horn and like a box of bootios?
I don't know if I'll go that far. I don't do the wrestling shirt thing a lot. I think I have a Bullet Club shirt that somebody sent me, but that's really it. I have a Ric Flair shirt that has just his giant face on it.
Nice.
And that's it. Next up, King's Court with Dolph Ziggler. Jerry Lawler was wearing his 1993 gear here.
Yeah, with its 2017 body, which didn't make it look any better.
His 2017 body ain't a lot different than his 1993 body.
That's kind of true. It's kind of true. A little bit more Sonic in it, though.
King of Indie Style says a segment involving Nikki Bella is getting praise. This is not good. Nikki Bella's had some pretty damn good segments over the last year.
It was entertaining after you got past the talking. I don't understand why not. Why don't you praise the just? I mean, if it hits more than it misses, you might as well praise it. I mean,
it was good. I liked it. This from the jump. This from the jump seemed like the babyface is going to get his ass kicked in his hometown spot. Dolph Ziggler shows footage of him elbow dropping Lawler before his heart attack, saying that he was responsible. Dolph Ziggler essentially admitting to voluntary manslaughter. But that's not it. He says, I will finish the job. He threatened to murder Jerry the King Lawler on live national TV.
Given the other thing,
I think he did it. If you make that threat and you kick the guy in the chest, is that not attempted murder? He hit it with the heartbreak kick.
Yes, technically
right
it is.
Chest.
Nice. I love that joke, by the way. That was pretty great.
Hilarious.
I also liked the jokes. Well, given all the other things you could have shown about Jerry Lawler and his dealiances, that was pretty tame. It was also probably the last time Dolph was interesting as a heel, to be honest with you, because he was not interesting here. He was just talking slow and monotonous.
I want him to go full Sam Shaw.
Wow.
That's what I want him to do. I want him to go full Sam Shaw and become like a psycho murderer. He's already threatening to murder people. He's already trying to murder people. Just be the serial murderer. Why not?
No, make him a tag team wrestler. Put him with Swagger and get him in his feud with American Alpha already.
How dare you? They weren't on the show. There were a lot of people not on the show, and there ain't nothing wrong with that.
No.
You don't have to be on every show.
I like that, as a matter of fact. He keeps guys, fresh as opposed to being out there week after week after week, and you're just getting tired of them. Kind of like they do on Raw. No offense.
So, considering that Lawler was able to get to his feet, he got off pretty easy because Dolph did threaten to murder him. And then JBL murdered me as he fell flat on his face, running to help Lawler, and Otunga brought it up later. And to JBL's credit, JBL sold it pretty well. He's like, hell yeah, I did. I was going to help my friend. JBL was very good at that. But Lawler screaming at Ziggler from the ring. Ziggler! Ziggler!
Do we get a JBL Ziggler match?
I hope not.
I'm thinking we're going to at some point.
Oh, that's another guy.
Because
so, I got to do research for this Shane Helms podcast, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm researching all these fights, and I'm like almost like half of them end in me just going, man, JBL was such a dick.
Joey Styles knocking him out.
Steve Blackman, which we're not going to talk about because Shane wasn't around, but Blackman beating the piss out of him.
Throwing Jericho in the shower.
I've heard a lot of worse stuff, too. I'll say this. I mean, he's calmed down because camera phones are everywhere and social media is everywhere. There's no way he'd still have his job if social media was a thing in 1998.
Could you imagine someone pulling an Antonio Brown in Wrestler's Court? Like just posting
sense?
that, like putting the phone on the locker room meeting like that and putting it to Facebook. What would happen?
Yeah. Maybe that should be a network show. They had Daniel Bryan and James Ellsworth on Ride Along. Do you watch that?
I saw a couple scenes from that. And I didn't care for it. It seemed very, very forced to me in terms of they were trying to basically stay in character while doing the ride along. And I don't
know. Ellsworth apparently is a giant germaphobe, and Daniel Bryan was sick. That was fun.
Well, the whole thing talking about was it Jimmy? What's his suave character name?
Bryan asked him to cut a promo.
And this promo sucked.
Oh, it was bad. And Daniel Bryan goes, "Yeah, I dig it."
Yeah.
We had the cage title match. I've got a lot to say about this. Something I liked. That turnbuckle smash spot. I've never seen a better turnbuckle smash spot. How has nobody ever thought of that? That was simple.
I liked that a lot. My note was, looks like Becky got into Luke Gallows' cream. Because she was dark today.
Oh, yeah.
Backstage. She was about as dark as I saw her at WrestleMania last year, where she
almost matched her hair.
She was drop dead gorgeous when she was at NXT last year, just wearing this pantsuit thing with being all dark and tan. And
what is with you tonight?
I'm just explaining. I thought she was very, very good looking at NXT. That's all.
God, I'm going to order you an escort or something. Maybe you won't come on the show talking about how hot Becky Lynch is and trying to marry my contractors. And
we'll talk off air.
Jeez. Man, cost of living in L.A. killing guys, apparently.
You have no idea. No, I liked this match a lot, and you know what? For what it was, in terms of setting up the eventual La Luchador thing, I thought it was quite good. I thought, the one spot that almost didn't work was when Becky was already over the cage and Alexa Bliss had to chase her to get the hair. I mean, it seemed like that was a little clunky, but I thought Becky did a good job of struggling to get over the cage in order to give Alexa time to climb up there. And the superplex off of the turnbuckle was, or the
exploder.
The exploder off the turnbuckle. I thought was really, really good because that's a move that could, if done poorly, could hurt someone. So I thought that was great too. I mean, I liked the match overall.
The only thing in the match I didn't like was them taking a commercial at 9:50 Eastern. That was
they're now
stupid.
They're now mentioning the single leg drop kicks too. I thought that was interesting.
Here's one for you. Both her kicks looked really good. I thought. I thought the drop kick looked really awesome. Not only that one-legged kick that she does out of the corner usually looks terrible. Off the cage, it looked great because it gave Alexa had something to bounce off of.
Yeah,
she was able to bounce her back off the cage. Both of those looked good. I think it added it to the match. This was good stuff, but how is La Luchadora allowed in the ring?
It's a no DQ match in the cage. That's how they explain it.
But the ref never just lets people trot into the cage. That's the point of a cage match.
Yeah, you have a second ref there, and you usually have a chain. I mean, unless usually they'll climb over the cage to get into it or something like that. But I guess that'd be asking a bit much of Mickie James to do that.
I really hope Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon address this on
Talking Smack,
because it's the type of thing they usually do.
Yeah,
they're very smart about that. Daniel Bryan's usually like, I dropped the ball, the ref dropped the ball. We had our hands full with something else, but
that ref needs to be fined. He needs to be fined and suspended for dereliction of duty. That's what I do. Bring him on Talking Smack. There you go.
La Luchadora revealed after they attack Becky Lynch, and Becky Lynch unmasks her. It is Mickie James, and the crowd didn't react because they did it in a cage where nobody could see her face.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a problem, but I liked the beatdown after. I thought Mickie had some pretty good kicks here too. My joke was, I hope they reveal that Mickey has aligned herself with Alexa Bliss because she thinks she's Trish Stratus.
What do you think of Mickey James as La Luchadora?
I'm fine with it. I'm absolutely fine with it. You knew she was coming in to SmackDown probably to help bolster that roster. There were two choices to give here. They could have made her La Luchadora. They could have made her the person who attacked Nikki Bella. I'm fine with either of these.
Now, does this mean that La Luchadora has been beaten by both of these women fairly quickly? I mean, Mickey James has been beaten by both of these women fairly quickly? Or wait, I don't remember who was who in whichever one.
You can explain it away by saying, well, since I was under the Luchador mask, it doesn't matter that I was beat.
Yeah, I guess.
Look, Mickey James plays crazy. This is going to be part of the crazy angle, probably.
Man, she's got an uphill battle doing that with Alicia Fox doing such a fantastic job.
True.
Because, oh my God, I love Alicia Fox is crazy. She does
almost too good. Well. It's almost too good and too close.
I've always heard that there is like no nicer person in the WWE than Alicia Fox.
No, a friend of mine who's done the show with me, Markia McCarty, who's also on AfterBuzz, she just did like stand-ups for WrestleMania one year, and she and Alicia Fox hit it off as friends, and they're like on a personal basis now, just writing each other and things like that. So you're just kind of like, whoa, okay, great, yeah. No, I've heard she's nothing but a sweetheart.
What'd you think of the UK tournament?
I loved the second night. I thought it was absolutely great.
Me too. I hated the first day, though.
First day was a bit rough, but I was forgiving of it because I knew what they were trying to establish. I thought, the four guys that they put into the semis, actually, you know what? I'll add 5, including Tyler 7. Or Trent 7. I thought they were all great. I thought Mark Andrews really represented himself pretty well in this tournament for being a last-second addition to it. And I thought, Pete Dunne was perfect. And what they did within that tournament was kind of perfect. Pete Dunne reminded me of, and I think maybe you may get this reference, maybe not, maybe a little bit past your time too. If you ever saw that early 80s
How old are you?
I'm ancient. I'm in my 40s.
Are you really?
Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
That's why I know all this stuff, because I've been watching for so long. No, have you ever saw the boys in prison movie Bad Boys? He looks like young Sean Penn in that movie.
Ah, he does.
Quite a bit. And I liked everything about that. I thought Alex called this perfectly with the William Regal, him being afraid of nobody except for William Regal when Dad gets angry. I thought that was a great metaphor that Alex brought in. So no, I liked this a lot. At the Neville Tommy End match, it wasn't what I really wanted, but it was a good placekeeper while they set up. It was a good way to cool down the crowd, I thought. I'm just tired of Neville saying he wants to be the king of the division, because he's going to get a crown and a scepter at some point.
Jesus.
That's all. But overall, I thought it was good for them. I think it's a good way to start a territory out there if they want to do something like that. I'd fold it into 205 or NXT in some way to help bolster that if they're going to do touring.
Why do you think they used all cruiserweights for this?
They didn't, though. Wolfgang is not a cruiserweight.
How big is he?
250?
No, he's not that big, is he?
But what they could do here is they could do like a US versus UK kind of pay-per-view, kind of like WCW used to do versus Japan. With either 205 or the NXT.
Sorry about that. But yeah, he is 255.
I do my research for this show. Don't you dare question.
I didn't cover the show.
No,
Ryan Cook covered the show, so.
They used the guys they could get for the most part. It's, they could have probably gone after Drew McIntyre. He would have dwarfed everybody in this tournament, and then it would have looked dumb if he had lost.
I was surprised Magnus wasn't in it, to be honest with you. Given
Magnus, those guys are so big though that it would kill.
I think so too.
it would kill the competitive nature of the tournament, so to speak, in the story. I think it was best to have, if you're going to go with a couple of small guys and you're going to have a small guy win it, best to have a lot of small guys and have one big guy in it to make it special. And they had a guy that they could beat that they weren't worried about. I think they may look at Magnus and say he has potential. Let's sign him. I think that'd be great. And I think, McIntyre's a guy you bring into the main roster type of deal. You don't put him in this kind of thing unless you're really trying to build the territory and he becomes a big deal and a special attraction.
Some New Japan news. They have a new color commentator. It is Don Callis, formerly known as Cyrus in ECW and the Jackal. We've not heard him do color commentary on this level since ECW. He'll be with Kevin Kelly. I'll say this. It beats Matt Stryker.
Yeah, and beats Matt Taven, too.
Oh, Jesus. Silence beats that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, he has a good podcast going. It depends on how much they want him to play up. I think he'll be fine for it. I don't know. For me, the English commentary for New Japan isn't as fun. Even though I don't understand a word of the Japanese commentary, you can still get into the emotion of it all. And I don't think with either JR and Josh Barnett or Kelly and whoever he's working with that it kind of hits that same level necessarily.
Just to let you all know, we are doing live coverage of Fantastica Mania this weekend, all 3 nights that are on New Japan World. So if you all are up late, David Tease, that psycho, is covering those. Like, here's what happens, Jeff. I get up in the morning and I look on the scheduler and I see like New Japan Fantastica Mania coverage like scheduled for those times, and I'm like, really? Okay. If you're doing it, man. Also, March 6th, the 45th anniversary show. March 10th, New Japan Cup Finals. April 9th, Genesis Wrestling Dontaku on May 3rd. June 3rd, Best of the Super Juniors Tournament Finals. June 11th, Dominion. July 1 and 2, the G1 Special from Long Beach. July 17, G1 Climax 27 Opener. August 11, 12, 13, G1 Climax, A Block, B Block, and Championship Finals. Fightful.com has coverage of all those, and New Japan will have English commentary of all those I just mentioned. They will not have English commentary for Fantastica Mania. But hey, you can come to our live coverage and discussion and chat it up with David Tease. Also, we'll have them on Fightful Wrestle. You go into those G1 shows?
I think so. If I can get tickets, yeah, definitely.
Well, it looks like what had become a tradition for me will not be happening this year. It doesn't look like they're going back to the Arnold Classic.
No, I saw something for like an Arnold fencing classic in Ohio.
It's like
and have they just decided to change sports and go from bodybuilding to foil and epi?
No, they do all that kind of stuff. Like they'll have kickboxing and they have a lot. It's the Arnold Sports Festival. It's not like the Arnold Bodybuilding Classic. They have boxing and grappling.
Hold on. That's right. I referenced fencing terms. I'm sorry. I know a few. Continue.
What the hell is that supposed to mean?
Well, somebody's like, where did Hawkins pull out like foil and epi? It's like, well, I had friends who fenced. What do you want?
Well, they're not doing it, apparently. I've been told by the people at the Arnold that WWE hasn't signed on. If they haven't by now, they probably aren't, which that was a lot of fun and kind of exhausting for me. Like, my wife would always help me like get the recaps down and the info down and take pictures and stuff at the shows, and that gave us a lot of good content. I'm very surprised WWE didn't go there anymore. But the UFC did that as well. Strikeforce did that as well. You had these people who would capitalize on the event, then just leave. So maybe the capitalization isn't as much as I anticipated, but man, there were you would see some shit there, Jeff. Like,
well, they would also market like the connection between the people that they found at the Arnold Classic to the NXT show. Like, this is Alexa Bliss, this is Dana Brooke, and I don't know if they have a connection there right now, do they? So, I mean, it would seem like,
well, Dana Brooke's competing there at the show. She'll be.
Oh, she is?
Yeah, she'll be competing there.
Wow.
They've got people like Angelo Dawkins who are somewhat local. I mean, Angelo Dawkins beat Andrade Almas before beating Andrade Almas was common at the Cincy show, and the crowd went nuts for it. Like, they went crazy. Last year, it was funny because the first year, 2015, when Alexa Bliss was there, they were like, from Columbus, and people were like, as a babyface. Last year, she came in as a heel, and she had to fight back, like, smiling because she got such a great ovation. And she isn't going to be there this year, so that hurts. But Dana Brooke is already going to be there competing. But I'd imagine that's what her focus is on. Now, I don't see why they couldn't have brought in Alexa Bliss for an appearance, because they brought in Mark Henry, they brought in Triple H, they brought in a lot of people. They brought in Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan one year. Braun Strowman did a Q&A. I think he competed there. I think. So, I mean, what are you doing with Mark Henry that weekend that you couldn't have had him there? But that's the end of my rant. But I did enjoy that experience.
Well, maybe it just came in a bad time in the calendar and they didn't have time to adequately plan, or maybe they don't want bodybuilders. Who knows? It could be either of those two things.
Perhaps, but I mean, would you consider Alexa Bliss a bodybuilder?
A fitness model, I would. I mean, still,
sure.
I mean, that was her base.
Yeah, I could see that. Huh. Well.
What?
I'm just looking through the headlines here. Got some MMA stuff. We're not going to cover that here, though. You all got 5 to 7 MMA podcasts a week with Showdown Joe. If you all haven't checked it out, maybe you don't even like MMA, go check out his shows. Elias Theodorou, Sean Pearson, Adam Martin, Reed Kuhn. He's got all of them. And I'm still on him with him once a week and after UFC events. What do you think of Kurt Angle's Hall of Fame announcement and David Bixenspan's subsequent tweet that the comedy vignette that they showed tonight was the reason why Kurt Angle was never over, he said?
I disagree that he was never over. He was never the guy, so to speak, but he was over. I mean, he was number 2 or number 3 for a long, long time.
That was such a terrible take. I had to have you address it.
The comedy vignettes, look, I've mentioned this before. Go watch Table for 3 with Sheamus, Wade Barrett, and William Regal. And Regal will looks at both of these guys and goes, people won't remember you for the great matches you had. They'll remember you for those weird, funny moments and things of that nature. And that's why I'm always so proud of my WWE work, which made my jaw drop because it angered me at first. It legitimately angered me that William Regal did not want to be remembered for his matches, but for the moments where he made people laugh. But at the same time, that's the difference between wrestling and sports entertainment, isn't it? Mm-hmm. And Kurt Angle played comedy just as well as he had great matches. Of course, you can't show a lot of highlights to his matches because a lot of his best matches were against Chris Benoit, who is persona non grata in terms of highlights. My question is, does Kurt Angle have a match at WrestleMania? Because when they changed these plans, when you heard that they were changing some of the set in stone plans, and now with Kurt Angle in there, I mean, I thought it was possible that Kurt Angle may be facing the Undertaker in kind of a Legends type of deal, because you can beat Kurt and have Undertaker, and Kurt won't be hurt by it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they'd go that way.
Well, they might not, but I mean, does he? Okay, let's just stick it with the simple plan. Does he have a match? Yes or no? If he clears his medical.
Since you're Heymaning me right now, I'll say yes.
Okay.
But I think that's far from a definite thing.
I don't think they'd be bringing him back if they weren't going to use him a couple times. I mean, it's still shocking to me
When's the last time he's wrestled?
couple weeks ago, I think.
Did he wrestle a couple weeks ago?
He still does indie dates. I mean, he was wrestling
rare ones, though.
Yeah, I mean, I know he's had a Zack Sabre Jr. match in there.
Sure. I mean, that was months ago.
Cody Rhodes.
It was like 8 minutes long.
Has he fought Matt Riddle yet? That's a match I'd like to see.
No, but I mean, he faced Sabre in like June and Cody Rhodes in like August. The Mysterio match was in March. Like I feel like it's been a while. I could be mistaken. Never over. Sorry, Bix.
Depends what he means by over. Does he mean the main money-making draw? No, he wasn't. But he was never going to be that with Austin and The Rock and Triple H and The Undertaker and guys like that. But
Michaels. Jeez.
Michaels.
I consider Kurt Angle among the most versatile performers ever.
No one's ever, other than Riddle, no one's picked up the business faster than Kurt Angle, in my opinion. Nobody with that much natural charisma and athletic ability combined. And then they asked him to not be a serious athlete and to do comedy, and he could do it.
And he excelled at it. Oh, my gosh. They had him go from like a smarmy heel to a comedy heel, then babyface. Then at some point they're like, we want you to be a complete like murderous psycho.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hey, you know what? I'll do that really well too.
Yeah.
Man.
I never over that. I don't get mad at Bix often, but got me close.
I love Bix, but that one was a duty take. Very duty take. What do you make of Keith Lee passing on Ring of Honor to sign with WWN Live?
I'm fine with it. I'm shocked because I thought he wanted to keep the tag team going. But
spoiler alert, the day after they gave him a win at the ROH tapings.
Yeah.
I think they knew.
There's been some rumors about ROH in the back and perhaps even treatment of minorities in ROH. I'm not going to read that much into it, but maybe he just wanted to be in WWE, and this is what he sees as a path. And especially, having a great match with Chris Hero / Cassius Ohno may help quite a bit. Maybe he just is tired of ROH. Maybe he doesn't see any growth in there. I mean, you can read any number of 100 things in there. I like Keith Lee a lot. I liked that tag team a lot. And I'm interested to see what WWN does with him.
Brock Lesnar, before yesterday at least, scheduled for 9 episodes of Raw leading into WrestleMania. Did that surprise you?
Yes. Very much so, because I thought
all but 2 weeks.
Yeah. And given the number of times he's appeared in builds before that, they must be panicking or something. I don't know. I mean, just to have him out there week after week after week, they must see mega buys in a Goldberg rematch to have him there week after week.
Guys, under the exclusive section, we have Jason Kincaid's latest article. He talks about wrestling in Mexico for about $42. That guy, if you look at him, you would never guess that his written word was as eloquent as it is, which always shows you don't judge a book by its cover. Also, we have Matt Riddle explaining why the Submission Underground match with Jeff Cobb is off. I have TNA taping information, some contract news. We broke the news.
Speaking of which, let me ask you something about before you get off of ROH. War Machine, are they WWE bound?
No, they don't have a contract right now. I hope they are.
Okay.
Those are the guys who I would have had in the Wyatt family to begin with, instead of Discount Hansen.
I think the Briscoes were the original plan.
That would have been pretty cool too. We got MMA coverage for you this Saturday. Chael Sonnen, Tito Ortiz. Now, this is a wrestling podcast, Jeff. I want your pick on Chael Sonnen, Tito Ortiz, because Tito Ortiz is a former TNA star and Chael Sonnen a former Global Force Wrestling star.
Well, as you know, Tito Ortiz is probably in the best shape of his life, or at least he'll cut a promo saying that before this match.
Then he'll have neck surgery, quote unquote.
Then he'll have then he'll be like, then he'll make tons of excuses. Oh, Tito's gonna lose.
Yeah,
Tito has nothing left, even against a past his prime Chael Sonnen, I think.
It's going to be tough. I mean,
he'll make 10 excuses. Oh, my knee was hurting. My neck still hasn't fully healed. I'm getting a bit older. Jenna kicked my ass one night. It'll be all sorts of things.
Well, they aren't together anymore.
It'll be an old injury. It'll be PTSD from it.
I was going to say. Yeah. I think that, well, Tito did fairly well against Liam McGarry.
Tito might as well wear a shirt to the ring that says "Just in it for the cash." That's what he should.
Beth Phoenix also rumored for the Hall of Fame. I like this move. Do you?
Yes.
She's excellent.
Great. She's great, and she was a precursor to Natty, so to speak, a bit in terms of women who were pure wrestlers who were kind of forced into that pigeonhole of divas when they wanted to really be superior athletes. She'd be much better off in today's wrestling than she was then, but she helped blaze a trail. I have no problem with Beth Phoenix being in there. I think she left too soon, and I miss her from time to time, but I understand when to start a family, so go do your thing.
Biggest news of the week, without a doubt, hands down, Don West is back in TNA. I am so happy about this.
And the merchandise is apparently dirt cheap, yes?
I just bought a Jeff Jarrett laser engraved guitar for $30. It's going to be mounted on this wall somewhere.
You know who's going to want one of those, don't you? Rob McCarron. Well, Rob McCarron got into wrestling because of Jeff Jarrett. You need to tell him that he can get a laser engraved guitar that says slap nuts or something. I don't.
I told a TNA wrestler one time, you should try to negotiate the 100 and some they have remaining into your contract. And they said, what the fuck would I do with 138 laser engraved guitars? And then they put, I hope that's on my tombstone. And then around this time, they were pulled from TNA shop. And ironically, I was doing a story on it because of, Words Big 80s, I think, would always keep count of those on Twitter. And I reached out to Jeff Jarrett. I reached out to Don West. And they weren't talking, which is weird because those guys always want to talk.
Yeah. It's weird when the most loquacious people all of a sudden shut up.
Yeah. And shocker, both of them are back in TNA. But Jeremy Borash did talk to me about it. That's up on the site too. Just search Jeff Jarrett guitar. I'm sure it'll pop up there.
Someone go out there and tweet Rob McCarron to go order a Jeff Jarrett guitar, for God's sake, because I won't remember.
I love Don West. His call of the Swanton Bomb at Bound for Glory 05 is one of my favorite calls in wrestling history. I like Don West in wrestling. I just could never get past his former life as a shill on television. Yep.
Like QVC Light. These baseball cards are the most magnetic. You will never see a better base. It's like, my God, this guy is awesome. On the top.
He's awesome. Ricky Morton's telling people locally that he's going into the Hall of Fame, but I've not. The people that I've talked to have not confirmed that. And I'm not really the guy to go to for Hall of Fame news. I don't really get good information on that, but he's telling people locally. I don't know if I believe it. I don't think I do.
I think they belong. I think
sure.
The WWF work that they did wasn't spectacular because that was during that NWA invasion during the Monday Night Wars, which wasn't very good. But for WCW work and for not really innovating, but at least, helping to set the standard of what tag team wrestling is today, I'm fine with Rock and Roll Express going into the Hall of Fame.
What do you got to tell the people before we go?
Well, let's see. Shake them ropes this week. We'll go over the UK tournament. We'll go over Raw and SmackDown. Our top 100 match to see before you die. Ricky Steamboat versus Randy Macho Man Savage from WrestleMania 2 or WrestleMania 3 from Michigan. If you're in North Carolina by chance, At the end of next month, I'll be out there doing a comedy show. Go to nccomedyarts.com for more information. I'll give more information as we get closer to it. But last weekend in February, I'll be out there.
Visit the site, Fightful.com. Follow us at those handles. Your clickety-clacks are very, very important to us, guys. We need your support at Fightful.com.
Yes.
Visit Fightful.com. We got full coverage of Evolve now. I figured, we got Matt Riddle, Jason Kincaid on board. We should probably cover it a little bit more. We're doing that.
I think you should have Stokely Hathaway as a guest on a podcast.
I would love to. I love Stokely Hathaway. Maybe I'll do that. I will try to make that happen, actually. I'm pretty sure I could swing that.
Producer Jeff.
There you go. Fightful.com, you guys. Visit it. Love it. Share it on Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, Facebook groups. We're out.